Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Absolute delight to have your company. We are touring through the Emerald Isle. We found ourselves here in Northern Ireland. We're at Portstewart today. Temperatures are expected to get a little bit warmer, a little bit nicer, but there's still a cool breeze. It's actually into our face here on the practice grounds and the driving range. This is Paul Eales. Eales has won on the European Tour. He's won on the European Tour Senior Circuit, which is called the Legends Tour. He's also a member of the board of directors of the European Tour. He's kind enough to be on this sojourn with us throughout the Isle. So, Paul, you've had to deal with conditions playing all over the world, and you're very obviously familiar with this. You started at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's in your professional career. Where would you start here in terms of making people understand who perhaps haven't played links golf before to get ready for the different elements and conditions?
Yeah, so we've got to take the environment that we're in, Matt. So it's windy, so obviously we want to keep the ball low. The ground is normally firm, and there's usually the architect doesn't give you the challenge to fly the ball over things on a links golf course. So along the ground is your friend. So obviously if we're playing into a wind, we want to reduce the spin, so it's always a great idea. It may be a 140 shot, which could be a 9-iron or an 8-iron, but go to 7, go to 6. Make a similar swing, but the ball, because you're not creating as much spin, will go lower, hit the ground, and run. Remember, the ground is your friend playing links golf.
So that shot that you just described for us is often described as kind of a dead hand shot. Could you demonstrate for us what that means and what impact it has on the ball, particularly on the spin?
So I've got an 8-iron here. We're going pretty much straight into a wind, maybe into from 1 o'clock, something like that. So I'll give it a normal swing. Normally this would go 145 for me. And look at the flight on this one. So we're up in the air, that's spinning. The wind's going to hit that. That's going to come down well short of my target of 145. So what we would do, even with the same club, we could virtually get the same distance, would be to stand a little bit closer, believe it or not, swing a little slower, bring the ball flight down, and it will run.
Wow, it's perfect.
So that should end up pretty much around the same distance as the full shot that went up in the air, but a little more controlled, because we've taken the spin off it. Taking the spin off it by a ball position change and also reducing speed. Remember, speed creates spin. We don't want spin into the wind.
All right, so links golf courses are nuanced because you're hitting around a dune or perhaps a pot bunker you're trying to avoid. Can you kind of show us some ways that you would work the ball if you're chasing a pin, for example, on the right or on the left?
Well, I would recommend that nobody chases pins playing links golf. Always try and hit it short and let the ball run on. But say, for example, the wind was off the left-hand side and you wanted to move the ball and keep the ball flight straight. So then you're changing the path and the face angle. So it would be a little bit hooded, so the toe in and the swing going out to the right. And so you would create a hook curve on the golf ball. And there it just draws back in. So that would be holding it straight against the wind. If it was hard from left to right, you've also got the option to hit it into the wind and let the wind move it back. Some players like to fight the wind, some players like to use the wind. But the great thing is, the creativity is endless when you're playing links golf because the conditions and the environment allows that. Great fun.
This is probably unfair of me to ask of you, Paul, because the wind's coming into us from 1 o'clock, but can you hit a little cutter out there for us?
Hit a little cutter. Thanks for asking me that, Matt. Yeah. So again, we'll do the opposite. We'll take the ball forward, but again, we're going to hit it a little higher because obviously the face is open. We're creating a little bit more. So you wouldn't always want to try and hit a cutter in there, but the swing goes left, the face points to the right.
You did it.
And there she goes.
You did it. All the elements were against you.
But you see the ball flight was so much higher there?
Yes.
So again, you would take a few more clubs and just create that. So it takes a little bit of time and experience to practice your distance control, but maneuvering the ball around with the wind is just so much fun.
Great. One more shot that's very fun in links golf, obviously, is the bump and run. And could I ask you to demonstrate one of those for us? This is a man that played in 8 Opens during the course of his career. So I'm sure this was a shot that you've had to utilize many times. He's also a member at Royal Birkdale, if you can believe it, where the Open's going next year. So I'm sure this is a practice one for you.
Yeah, so we've got a flag there. I don't know whether we can see it. It's probably about 80 yards away, but you could actually putt this golf ball from here. You could hit it along the ground. The grass is a little bit long now. In the summertime when it's bone hard, you could putt that and it would roll and roll and roll. The golf ball's, it's round, it's designed to roll. Keep it on the ground is your friend. But normally, again, I've got the 8-iron here. I would just stand a little bit closer to it. Keep the hands slightly forward, and it's just a nice rock of the shoulders. And the ball will be, you've reduced the spin and it running along the ground.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Oh, it's hit the flag. Finds a target.
It did very nearly.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Now, I mentioned to you guys at the start of this segment that we're playing Portstewart today. We've had the pleasure of playing this golf course before. This was the course, if you guys remember, where John Rahm won the Irish Open here. What do you think about the experience that we're going to have here today in this one?
It's sensational. The vistas with the ocean there and the sand dunes, the drama of the whole thing. And as a golfer, you look at it and there's so many different ways you can play the same hole depending on your ball flight. But like as we were saying here, if you can be creative, you can enjoy so many shots out there. You can go through the bag, little hybrids, 3-woods, something that you wouldn't normally play back at home where everything's through the air, pitch and stop. Here you use the ground and just have great fun.
No doubt about that. The great fun starts right from the first tee. It's actually a pretty difficult first tee shot, isn't it, to start?
At least you're up in the air, so you can, if you top it, it'll go along the ground. But again, that's not a bad shot to use on a links course.
Exactly. And then from there, the way I would describe it would be it's almost like a whimsical front nine, because you're playing shots around dunes and looking at these little fairways that run up to raised greens. So much imagination, and it's classic in one of these scenarios that we talk about often with links golf, is that you can tell us who the designer, who the architect was, but the reality is this is the way that the man upstairs laid it all out, and that's the joy that we have before. You know, we're going to play a lot of golf over the next couple of weeks, but this one, if I had to pick a word for it, Paul, it would be fun. How about you?
Yeah, well, I think all links golf's fun. That's just how I am. But again, the elements, if it's raining, it's not a lot of fun. But if the wind's blowing, you need that wind, and that challenges you to control the spin on the golf ball, use the ground, have a great deal of fun, and remember how many shots you can hit with a putter on a links course.
Well, why don't you give us one more of these dead hands little 8-irons, because everyone you've hit so far is perfect, so okay. I don't want to jinx you with the last as we head off.
Going down the grip a little bit, standing a little bit closer to it. It may just come out with a little draw spin and just body and boom, through. Even off the bottom edge, it's not so bad because you want the ball to run. It's taken the spin off it, and there it's gone some 90 yards down the fairway.